You're probably hugging women the same way you hug everyone else, and that's exactly why it's not creating any real attraction. Think about it for a second. A hug is one of the few moments where there's no distance, no distractions, no words to hide behind. It's pure energy, pure presence. And yet most men rush through it, treat it like a formality, or worse, make it feel awkward without even realizing it. Before we go deeper, if you're someone who genuinely wants to understand women better, not just impress them but actually connect, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. Not because I need it, but because it tells me you're serious about becoming more aware, more intentional, and honestly, more attractive in a real way. Now here's the truth most people won't say out loud. A hug is not just physical contact, it's communication. And women read that communication very quickly. Within seconds, she can feel whether you're confident, unsure, needy, grounded, or completely disconnected from yourself. You don't get that kind of clarity from texting. You don't even get it from talking. But a hug? That's where everything becomes obvious. A lot of men think attraction is built through words, jokes, or trying to impress. But attraction often grows in these quiet, subtle moments. The way you stand, the way you move, the way you hold space, and especially the way you hug. I've worked with many men who are smart, successful, even good-looking, but they struggle because they miss these small emotional signals. They don't realize that something as simple as a hug can either pull a woman closer or quietly push her away. And the difference isn't about technique in a mechanical way. It's about awareness. It's about intention. It's about how present you are in that moment. Because when a woman hugs you, she's not just feeling your arms around her, she's feeling your energy, your emotional state, your confidence, or lack of it. That's why two men can do the exact same action and one feels attractive while the other feels uncomfortable. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 4 specific things that change everything about how a hug feels to a woman. These aren't tricks. They're not manipulation. They're subtle shifts that make your presence feel stronger, calmer, and more grounded. And when you get this right, something interesting happens. She starts to feel safe and drawn to you at the same time. And that combination? That's where real attraction begins. The first thing you need to understand is this. The moment before the hug matters just as much as the hug itself. Most men don't notice this. They move too fast. They step in quickly, wrap their arms around her, and it feels automatic, predictable, almost like they're checking a box. But to a woman, that small moment right before contact is everything. It tells her whether you're aware or just reacting. When you go in for a hug, don't rush it. Slow down just slightly. Make eye contact for a brief second. Not in an intense or intimidating way, just enough to show that you're present, that you see her. That pause, even if it's only a second, creates emotional space. And that space builds anticipation. Attraction often lives in anticipation, not action. If you skip that moment, the hug feels flat. But when you allow even a tiny bit of build-up, it changes the emotional tone completely. It feels more intentional, more grounded. And here's something important. Women are very sensitive to intention. Not what you say your intention is, but what they feel. If you rush in, it can feel like you're slightly nervous, slightly unsure, or just not fully in control of yourself. Even if that's not true, that's how it can come across. But when you slow down just a bit, when your movements feel calm and deliberate, it signals confidence without you having to say a word. Confidence isn't loud. It's not aggressive. It's quiet control. And that control shows up in small details like this. Another thing, your body language right before the hug should feel open, not hesitant. If your shoulders are tight, your movements are stiff, or you lean in awkwardly, she'll feel that tension immediately. Instead, keep your posture relaxed. Let your movements feel natural. You're not going in for a move, you're simply allowing a moment to happen. That shift in mindset alone changes everything. Because when you're trying to do it right, you become mechanical. But when you're just present, your body naturally moves in a smoother, more attractive way. Also, pay attention to how she responds in that moment. Does she lean in slightly? Does her body open up toward you? Or does she hesitate? This isn't about overthinking, it's about awareness. If she's open, you continue. If there's hesitation, you soften your approach. You don't force anything. That's where emotional intelligence comes in. A man who can read these small signals instantly stands out. Not because he's doing something flashy, but because he's not disconnected. And that's rare. So the first shift is simple but powerful. Don't rush the moment before the hug. Let there be a second of presence. Let her feel that you're actually there with her. Because when that moment feels right, everything that follows becomes naturally more attractive. The second thing is how you actually hold her once the hug begins. This is where most men either become too stiff or too loose, and both can feel off. A hug shouldn't feel like a quick tap, but it also shouldn't feel like you're holding on too tightly. There's a balance here, and it comes from being aware of your own body. When you wrap your arms around her, let it feel secure, but not controlling. Think of it as grounded, not forceful. Your arms should communicate calmness, not tension. If your body is tight, she'll feel that instantly. If your grip is unsure or hesitant, she'll feel that too. What you're aiming for is a sense of quiet confidence, the kind where she feels like you're comfortable in your own space and you're not trying to prove anything. One detail that makes a big difference is how your chest and upper body feel during the hug. If you lean in too abruptly or hold your breath, your body becomes rigid. That rigidity creates discomfort, even if she can't explain why. Instead, stay relaxed. Breathe normally. Let your body feel natural, like this is something you're completely at ease with. Because the truth is, women don't respond to perfect technique. They respond to how they feel in your presence. And feeling relaxed around someone is incredibly attractive. Another important point is duration. Most men either pull away too quickly, making it feel rushed, or they hold on just a bit too long, which creates awkwardness. A good hug has a natural rhythm. It begins, it settles for a brief moment, and then it ends without hesitation. You don't need to count seconds. Just be present enough to feel when the moment has reached its peak, and then gently let go. That ability to feel the moment instead of forcing it is what separates an average interaction from one that actually builds connection. Also, avoid overthinking where your hands should go in a technical way. Keep it simple and appropriate. Around her upper back or mid-back is usually comfortable and natural. What matters more is not the exact placement, but how it feels. Is your touch respectful? Is it steady? Is it calm? Because when a woman feels that steadiness, something shifts inside her. Her guard lowers slightly. She relaxes. And that's important because attraction isn't just about excitement, it's also about emotional safety. If a hug feels unstable or awkward, her body reacts by pulling back, even if she doesn't consciously realize it. But when it feels calm and grounded, she naturally leans into that feeling. So instead of trying to get it right, focus on being relaxed, steady, and aware. Because a hug done this way doesn't just feel good physically, it feels reassuring on a deeper level. And that's what makes it memorable. The third thing most men overlook is what happens in the middle of the hug, the emotional tone you bring into it. This is subtle, but it's powerful. A hug is not just arms and body contact, it's an emotional exchange. And if your mind is distracted, overthinking, or trying to perform, that energy comes through. You might be physically close, but emotionally, you're not really there. Women can feel that disconnect very quickly. So instead of thinking about what you're doing, bring your attention into the moment. Notice her presence. Notice the feeling of connection without trying to control it. When you're mentally present, your body naturally softens. Your breathing slows down. Your movements become smoother. And all of that creates a very different experience for her. It feels real. One small but meaningful detail is your breathing. If your breathing is shallow or held, it creates tension in your chest and arms. That tension transfers directly into the hug. But when you're breathing naturally, your body feels open and relaxed. It gives the hug a calm, grounded energy. You don't need to exaggerate it, just don't hold your breath. Another thing is emotional intention. Ask yourself quietly, What am I bringing into this moment? Are you trying to impress her? Are you seeking approval? Or are you simply sharing a calm, genuine connection? Because those intentions feel completely different. When a man is trying to impress, there's a subtle pressure in his touch. It feels like he's reaching for something. But when he's grounded and present, there's no pressure. It feels like he's simply there, and that's what makes it comfortable. And comfort is underrated. A woman who feels comfortable around you is far more likely to open up, to trust you, and yes, to feel attracted to you. There's also something important about emotional consistency. If your energy feels confident one moment and unsure the next, it creates confusion. But when your presence feels steady, even in something as simple as a hug, it builds trust. And trust is what allows attraction to deepen instead of fade. Also, don't underestimate the power of silence in that moment. You don't need to say anything during a hug. In fact, trying to fill the moment with words often breaks the connection. Let it be quiet. Let it be simple. Because in that silence, she's not analyzing your words. She's feeling your presence. And that's where the real impact happens. So instead of focusing on external details, shift your attention inward. Stay present. Breathe naturally. Keep your emotional state calm and grounded. Because when your inner state is steady, the hug becomes more than just a gesture. It becomes an experience she actually feels and remembers. The fourth thing is how you end the hug. Because the ending is what stays in her mind longer than you think. Most men don't pay attention to this part. They either pull away too quickly, like they're unsure of themselves, or they hesitate at the end, which creates a strange, lingering awkwardness. Both of these break the emotional flow you just created. A good hug has a clean, natural ending. It doesn't feel rushed, and it doesn't feel dragged out. It feels complete. When you're about to let go, do it with the same calm energy you started with. No sudden movements, no hesitation, just a smooth release. Think of it like this. Confidence isn't just in how you begin something, it's in how you finish it. And women notice that more than you realize. Another small detail that makes a big difference is what happens right after you pull away. Do you immediately look down? Do you step back awkwardly? Do you break eye contact too quickly? These little reactions can quietly undo the connection you just built. Instead, after the hug ends, maintain a relaxed presence for a second. A brief eye contact, a soft, natural expression, nothing forced, nothing intense. That moment reinforces the emotional tone of the hug. It tells her without words, that was real, I'm comfortable, there's no awkwardness here. And that feeling stays with her. Also, avoid the urge to fill the space with unnecessary talk right after. A lot of men feel like they need to say something to balance the moment. But silence, when it's comfortable, is powerful. If you immediately start talking out of nervousness, it can break the emotional rhythm. But if you allow a short pause, it actually deepens the connection. Now here's something most people won't say directly. Attraction often builds in these small emotional after effects. It's not always the big gestures. It's how someone felt in simple moments and how that feeling lingers. So if the hug ends smoothly and the energy between you still feels calm and natural, she carries that feeling with her even after you're no longer physically close. And that's where you start to stand out. Because most interactions people have during the day are forgettable. They're rushed, distracted, or emotionally flat. But when something feels grounded and real, it leaves an impression. So don't treat the end of a hug like an afterthought. Treat it like the final note of a song. If it ends well, the whole experience feels better. And when you combine that with everything we've talked about so far, the presence, the calmness, the awareness, you create something very simple, but very rare. A moment that actually feels good to be in. And that's what people remember. Now, if you step back and look at all of this, you'll notice something important. None of these things are about tricks. They're not about lines, routines, or trying to make someone feel something. They're about how you show up. Because the reality is, most men focus too much on what to say, what to do next, how to impress, and they completely overlook the small, quiet moments where attraction actually begins. A hug is one of those moments. It's simple, it's natural, but it reveals everything. It shows whether you're comfortable with yourself or constantly seeking approval, whether you're present or stuck in your head, whether you bring calm energy or subtle tension. And women pick up on that faster than you think. So when you start applying these 4 things, slowing down before the hug, being grounded in how you hold her, staying present in the moment, and ending it cleanly, you're not just improving a hug, you're changing how you come across as a man. You begin to feel more in control of yourself, less reactive, more aware. And that shift doesn't just affect physical moments like this, it carries into how you talk, how you listen, how you handle silence, how you connect. That's where the real transformation happens. Because attraction isn't built from one perfect move, it's built from consistency in how someone feels around you. If she feels calm, comfortable, and slightly intrigued in your presence, that's a powerful combination. And here's the part I want you to really take in. You don't need to force attraction. You don't need to perform. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to remove the small things that create tension and replace them with awareness. That's it. Most men are not unattractive because they lack something. They're unattractive because they're disconnected from their body, from the moment, from the person in front of them. When you fix that, even simple interactions start to feel different, more natural, more effortless, more real. And people respond to what feels real. So the next time you hug a woman, don't treat it like a routine. Be there. Slow down just enough to feel the moment, because when you do that, something subtle but powerful happens. She doesn't just remember the hug, she remembers how she felt with you, and that feeling is what brings her closer.